Good morning, everyone. This is Evelyn with your Twin Flame Daily. I have a union read 4D, 5D, 6D, as well as the Twin Flame read, both for the masculine and for the divine feminine. Let's go ahead first and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings to everybody. Hope you're having an amazing day. All right, so today is April 2nd. So yesterday was April Fool's Day, and that was the energy of the 10 of the Wheel of Fortune and the 1 of the Magician. Today is the 2 of the High Priestess, and then the 11 of Justice, which is just truth and balance. So this union read was done at 12:03 yesterday afternoon, 12 being the Hangman and 3 being the Empress. This was a 4D, 5D, 6D union read for going from the first yesterday into the second today. And here is the picture for the union read. This is the SIRIAN Starseed deck. Okay, there's the union read. And to point out to you the way this is set up, this is the 4D across, 5D and 6D, the incoming divine feminine here, the outgoing divine masculine here, the underlying energy and the closing energy over here, okay? And here's the center card, because I always do a summary of the 3 cards here when I start. Let's see if I can get that a little bit more focused, okay? And then here is the twin flame read that's in front of you. Again, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. This is a 7-deck read. If something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. It's a lot of energy on the table. So this is the main read from the SIRIAN Starseed deck, and then here's the complete read that's in front of you now. There's a few more cards at the top there. Okay, so like I said, this is a 7-deck read in front of you. We have the SIRIAN Starseed deck, but also we have the Romance Angels, Tarot of Sexual Magic, the Universal Golden Tarot, the Gilded Tarot, the Mini Rider-Waite, the Numerology deck. I think I got everything there. And I do Oracle cards for these as well at the end, which actually a lot of my most beautiful messages come in with my Oracle cards at the end, wrapping up the messages that are coming through from both of the reads. So this union read at 12:03, the Hangman and the Empress, as we approach Easter of the Hangman and the Empress of Abundance, the mother energy, we started out with alchemy and the underlying energy, which is the Temperance card, 4 of Swords, which is that connection in the 5D, and then the 5 of Swords, which is that war within, because there is no war without unless there's a war within first. The blending pit, and this always reminds me of the apricot pit, the apricot kernels that help naturally get rid of cancer energies. The apricot pits have the highest amount of amygdalin in them, and I don't want to go too much into that right now, but for some reason that's coming up, so people might need to know about these natural cures, because certainly your doctors are not going to tell you about that. I worked at University of Penn Hospital for 25 years, and obviously a lot of doctors aren't trained in natural medicines in medical school, but even if they do know information in natural medicine, because of insurance and things like that, they can get sued. Their hospitals would not allow them to recommend any of those things. And of course, you can't approve something that's of nature, so you will never see an FDA approval of a natural medicine. So there's a catch-22 there. So we have the alchemy of the blending pit, the kernel of the apricot, of a higher love. And by the way, when I was researching this many years ago, when I was still doing with 2 of my cancer patients, one of the articles I found was about the country that has a lot of, I forget which country it was, but this country that has a lot of apricot trees that people tend to just, pick the kernels off the tree and eat them, have one of the lowest rates of cancer in the world. So that was very interesting. A blending pit of a higher love, connecting in the 5D on the bridge, stretching to Mount Everest, in a frog to Prince, in emerald greens, juggling 3, 2 waiting their turn, wearing face of all colors combined in plasma ethers. And then I was guided to break down ether of the AE spelling of ether, AE being the ash, and THER means I cut, prick, pierce, or slaughter. It also means there, these, and there, THEIR, and to sharpen. So the ash I cut, or slaughter. The ash sharpens. The incoming divine feminine here is the Ace of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles, which in the SIRIAN Starseed deck for me, the 4 of Crystals is the divine masculine's heart in the Batcave, and the 7 of Crystals is the divine feminine's heart in the E Tower. And you notice also I was talking about the 4 to 7 sweet spot in numerology. That's the middle, it's the sweet spot, but erring to the side of the light. Just like alkaline and acidic always in the human body, erring to the side of the alkaline. So, and that is the perfect balance, not right at center, but erring to the side of light. So you might be getting that too with erring to the side of the divine feminine when you're dealing with the masculine feminine energies. And actually, the balance has been coming off to the left in a lot of my code lines. So that's confirming what I'm bringing up right now. So the Ace of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles are the divine feminine's heart in the E Tower. The groundbreaking plant, the crystal formation, the salt of the earth with diamond light formation. First rock, then soil and grass, birthing a diamond in the rough from coal under pressure. The dark to light, one of Christ-like, that's crystals, Christ-like. Unity consciousness, the Knight of Swords on a rock under a tree, passing orbs for U-M-E, Yume. So the orb has to do with thoughts and words, blind men and orphans. But guess what UME, one of its definitions is the Japanese apricot, UME, or an Asian plum. It also means child, mist, fog, sand, humus or humus, compost, earth, soil, the human being, the ground, the floor, the mushed chickpea or hummus, the 2 of the high priestess, the 1-to-1, to know how, to understand, to grasp, to be able to, or in other words, consciousness of the male. Okay? So the balanced here with some poison at the center, which is a reference to the amygdalin in the apricot kernel. Sometimes there's a need for that, just like in nature, some plants have poisonous roots. And there's always a natural reason for that. It weeds out things that might kill other things. So we have that energy of the balanced with some poison at the center, but balanced child overall. And this is referencing the masculine child. Balanced with some poison at the center, but balanced child overall. A compost of understanding and male logic and awareness or consciousness. You, me, U-M-E. The divine feminine's heart in the E Tower, the 3rd floor, while the divine masculine's outside on the ground floor arranging crystals on his magic carpet. The divine feminine grounding and integrating her new crystalline body, passing messages from rock to tower, building a bridge or elevator so Rapunzel doesn't have to let her hair down. And this always reminds me of the of Sesame Street, because the Count used to count, right, and come over to Rapunzel's and he'd say, "Let your hair down." Let your hair down. It's so funny. I think I'm thinking of the right characters. But anyway, so building an elevator or bridge so that Rapunzel doesn't have to let her hair down for the masculine to pull on it. So what do little kids do on the playground? The masculine pulls the divine feminine's hair. He must find a different way to get to her. The hair offer is now off the table. He waited too long. You notice the reference of the long hair. While others come and go, or is it Hotel California, where you come but never leave? new life of contentment and truth, and reaping rewards of the E tower, the Elohim, the highest of vibrational energies, right? The 4D of the Ace of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and Justice, the Divine Feminine exuding love, jumping for joy with new clean water, and Aqua Love, the Mother. The Divine Masculine, Divine Justice, ringing the dinner bell, ready for surprise of multidimensional living at 0 point, or in other words, no need for outcome or expectation. Bridge by curiosity. At 5D here is the higher self, the 4 of Swords and the 10 of Wands, the Divine Feminine higher self with Akashics and plasma ethers on the dark side of the moon, the Divine Masculine navigating dungeon steps with flame in hand, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, with other 9 flames put out. Bridging by the 4 of Swords, the 5D connection, naturally. And that's when my daughter called me back right at that point. So the natural connection, the natural flow, the natural back and forth. In the 60 at 119 is the Magician and the Sun, with the 10 of Swords, the 6 of Cups, and the 8 of Pentacles here. The Divine Feminine ending pain, having bliss with the higher self, your other. The Divine Masculine working with crystals at the E tower to build something perhaps, lining her steps. The bridge is the inner children loving each other. The Divine Feminine, self-love, new love, outpouring of love to higher self to achieve bliss. The Divine Masculine in justice, divine justice, and release from the basement, the underground, the tunnels, to work outside and arrange crystals. Portal work, the dance of the crystal towers, lining her path. The Tower of Despair. So now I was guided to break down despair. And of course, I'm getting Kos. Kos is my dad's nickname. Kos. But who would say Kos, like with that accent? So if you know anyone who says Kos with that accent, let me know, because I don't know why that just came up. I was just getting call centers as well. The Tower of Despair, right? So if you really are struggling, there are call centers out there for you to reach out to. The Pair and the DES. And DES means quite a few different things. Desflurine is perfluoro, methyl, ethyl, and ether. So you have alcohol, ether, and fluoro. Looks like there's radiation in there, which is used in the maintenance of general anesthesia. And if you break down anesthesia, because anesthesia is thesis, literally. So it means to give or to hit, and we're still on DES. The oak, gift, drone, where, when, from, and which. Country, D flat, some, since, and the number 10, the turn for the better. The transition into the next cycle. Die, frequent, often, abundant, dense, thick, and copious. And it was funny when Kos just came up because my maiden name is Cope, so here's copious. And then desk. And then anes, which is the part of anesthesia, means oneness. To guess or sense, use your senses. Assume, and now we have the UME again, ass and UME. To suspect, to know, ancestor, mother, and tortilla, as well as rice coming up here. So despair is maintenance of general oneness, thesis, pair. And thesis, one of the definitions of thesis is lowering of the voice. So the maintenance of general oneness in the pair of those lowering of the voice. In twos, pairs, to die or abundance in pairs. You see the polarities there and the need to bring them together, to merge them. Copious, vast, profuse, and full of exuberance. Expression and style in pairs, right? So instead of the individuality regarding the person with the twins, that comes out in pairs. To know thesis or lowering of voice must accompany the antithesis, the raising of the voice. Two as one, the balancing act, the co-creation, the despair, without the other side of the coin. And coin is another spelling for Kohan. It's also ko-in, two going within. Kohan, co-pilots. Han Solo. Oh solo mio, oh duo mio, tre mio, mio, mio. Pilate and Jesus, Herod and Jesus, Mary Magdalene and Jesus, Judas and Jesus, Mother Mary and Jesus, and God and Jesus. Lovers, those of affection, the fine line between love and hate. And Spirit's connecting with me. There is the lowering of the voice and the highering of the voice. The bridge here is the Page of Pentacles, the curiosity that killed the cat. I didn't know this could do that. Learning to manifest and connect in the 5D with rest and relaxation would lead to the Six of Cups, that pure innocent love between best friends together forever. Right? Isn't that what best friends always do when they're young? They take the heart and they split it in half and they give each a half of the heart. The outgoing divine masculine, the indigo, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles. Two proposals, the indigo and the Knight of Pentacles. To dream, the family, business, or community, that dream family. And the walls lined with crystals, peacocks, and abundance. One diamond indigo proposal with a scrub top. And one loyal humble servant with crystal light in their best threads to create her Garden of Eden, the Garden of Prayer. Or do they just want to hook up to the good thing that she's got going? So this is where you need to use your ability to discern well, to feel as opposed to just believing what you're seeing, the illusion. Stretching and growing, the frog to prince, who is still cooking, not quite well done yet. Perhaps multiple offers, but who is willing to do the work to make the oneness last? So the grid here from this union read was the number 62, which is the trap, right? It's having your hands tied, feeling like you're imprisoned or in anxiety and fears, which is an illusion, right? Because you can walk out of that prison in the Eight of Swords card. The horizontal pillars added to 29, 14, and 19, which is the Three of Wands, the Temperance, and the Sun, the present of a higher love, of sunshine, energy, and happiness, and the release from anxiety, the trap, which is 62. The vertical pillars came up as 1, 7, 11, 10, 18, and 15. So the Magician, Chariot, Justice, Wheel, Moon, and the Magician again. The Chariot with the truth and balance, destined at night to see the shadow trap. We also had energies of, on the horizontal, we had the Sagittarius and Leo, so very fire energy on that side. And the other way was Virgo, Cancer, Libra, Cancer, and then Virgo or Gemini also coming up here. So that was the union read. For the twin flame read, the SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut at 2 o'clock on the dot, on the nose. A lot of source energy with the 2 zeros backing up the 2 of the High Priestess, the divine feminine energy. For today at 2:08, which is the High Priestess, and then the 8 of the Strength, inner and outer strength, and the dance, the taming of the beast. F crystals came up again, which you can say is the F word, but it's also F of Phi, the expansion and contracting of being Christ-like. The ALS, so Lou Gehrig's disease could also be coming up again, but the ALS of crystals is the likeness, not the exactness, the likeness. The whole reason for expanding and contracting is to expand into something new that we've never seen before. So you don't want to duplicate what's already been done. You want to do it in that positive energy, but do it like yourself, your authenticity. I finished clarifying this twin flame read at 2:22, which is the show of guidance counselors, and so much about the one-to-one divine feminine energy, the mediators, the natural mediators. And it always makes me think of my trip to California after my father's passing to accept an award for him. And we met with different people because I had another event to go to that was nearby LA. So I went to 2 events, plus then to see my good friend above LA. And so it was a beautiful trip. And all I remember driving around there, seeing twos everywhere, like triple twos, double twos, twos everywhere, on every exit, everywhere we drove. There's so many synchronicities, and the energy was so beautiful in the environment where me and my siblings accepted the award from my dad. And then the other one was a celebration of life for someone's mother. And then, of course, going to see, my very good friend. It was just amazing energy during that trip. And Laguna Beach as well. That was another few friends down there. So that energy always brings up a lot of beautiful energy and memories for me, the 222. So this twin flame read, the major arcana were guidance, Luna, and the wheel. So guidance is the temperance card, the moon, and the wheel, the great wheel. Very much that energy of commitment and tradition, societal norms, the traditional godhead, the moon, the Luna, which is the false light, and then the wheel, which is the turn for the better, the destiny, the universal energies naturally pushing you the way you need to go, and then pulling you back when you need to, in order to pull back to create momentum to go forward again. The natural retrogrades of energy and the loops. Before the read, transition or death came up, and after the read, solar deity, reflection, and chariot came up, which is the sun, the hermit, and the chariot. So the energies here, there's Taurus, Cancer, Libra, Scorpio, Leo, Virgo, and Cancer here. We had 2 swords, 3 pentacles, 2 cups, and 1 wand. And the court cards were only the Knight of Swords and the King of Swords, very much that sword energy. Before the read, the King of Cups, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Wands came up. So we have 2 kings, 2 queens, and a knight. We had double threes, and as most significant, and double sixes as well. The double threes is the 33 of the Christ vibration, and the 7 of Wands, standing up for oneself without being defensive, taking the high ground. The 66 of the Queen of Pentacles, who's the last queen of the deck before the Empress, right? But she doesn't necessarily need to be the Empress, right? That's a status symbol. But also the Queen of Pentacles is very humble and grounded. She's very good at all the other suits. She's already gone through all the other 3 suits to get to the Pentacles, the manifestation place. And the queens tend to be more creatively and more dynamic or outspoken than the kings, right? Who act as the head. So we have and there's a reference there about the head and the heart, okay? So we have also the sequence 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, pushing the energies up even higher from the 5D. Once you get into the 5D, then you can really go, upward to any dimensions to 6, 7, 8. But pushing upward, your vibrations higher and higher. The other numbers that came up on the code line were 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, coming from 8, 7, and 53, which is the Catapult, the Knight of Swords. 2321 came up, which is the King of Wands and the World, completion. And besides the double numbers, the 35 of the Wounded Warrior, the 36 of the Atlas energy, and the 23 again of the King of Wands, the 56 of the Two of Swords, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, that loyal, humble servant, and then the 89, which is the Phi energy, the reflection of the 98, which is the human body temperature when it's at its comfortable place, and expanding outside of that, whether it's getting too hot or too cold, whether physically in temperature or in personality. Expanding to come back to center again. So the messages here on the code line, there was no numerology card on this code line. So it's just about the number 68 of the curiosity of the Page of Pentacles in this deck, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. A couple different energies. Christmas was coming up, literally. Christ Mass with the Dance of the Strength card, right? Taming the inner beast, Jesus on the cross, and the masses, right? Christmas, Christ's Mass is the 8 of the infinity of the masculine and the feminine, Christ and Mary Magdalene, and the masses being key regarding the chariot, the vehicle of ascension, the feminine within the masculine, and the guidance of the Knight of Swords and God, or that the guidance is the Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth is God. The Christ, Ma, or the mother, and the Sophia, the dance of the twin mass, being key, right? The twin mass is the masses and Jesus and Mary Magdalene on the cross together. The key of the 7 guides in the 7 chakra system, the messenger of truth being God. The one God and the 7 guides equals 8, the infinity. Okay, so you have the 7 chakra system plus the one God being the 8 becomes the infinity. Also, the acronym NMA came up, which means house, the house of God. And also then the house of Sophia was coming up at 2:37 as a Federal Express truck pulled up for a delivery. 2 being the high priestess, 37 being the King of Cups, unconditional love. The house of Sophia dance. Her dance card, the support key, the chariot of guidance, the Hierophant, and the messenger of truth, the messenger of God. I, the egg, to sleep, to go to sleep, you know, going into your high vibration. That's when you get a lot of your upgrades, is when you're sleeping at night. So the reference they're just giving me now, that the reference to be asleep just means you're only connecting to your highest energies while you're sleeping. There you go. That makes it more simple. So the messenger of truth, the messenger, the guidance, the Hierophant of God, the I am that I am, to sleep. When you go to sleep, you connect with God naturally. The egg, the cosmic egg, the Christ consciousness, the unity consciousness. You can't help but be part of it then. Okay, so the Christ maze also comes up here. The maze of the Christ consciousness. Christ's crush, Mary Magdalene. Christ's strength and the Christ mystery. The table, the desk. Also to nag. The titmouse and fish come up. Of course, the fish comes up around Christ, but also the titmouse, right? The shy, the humble, the sheep. And that's so weird because I was sweeping out my garage. It has, you know, I don't spend much time in my garage. There was a lot of old carpentry stuff in there from my past lives. And I did a lot of cleaning out with some help these past few weeks. And after it was all done, I was sweeping up in there, and there was a skeleton of a little mouse in there. And that's what it's reminding me, right, of the vulnerable creatures that just get overlooked, so to say. And I was just noticing that too, because my ants, I was noticing last night and today, I was finding several dead ants, and I'm like, why are they dying? And then I just had another professional come in, and unless I tell them the ants are my friends, I don't know if when they're at the sink they may kill some of the ants, so I wasn't sure. But anyway, these are the vulnerable, the overlooked energies coming up around this. And just the maze, whenever the maze comes up, the mouse comes up, right? Because we put the mouse in the maze to try to get to the cheese in the center. Christ's maze of the sheep, those who have been overlooked. It's making me cry. The Mary Magdalene's coming up here. Christ's maze, the crush, the struggle, and the mystery. The possession, all right? Like, may I possess you. Supports even with God and Gabriel getting the word through. So the support team is even between God and Gabriel getting the word through to you. So like, you know, God always streaming through your center, and then Gabriel literally sending messages to you in your ear, little whispers in your ear. And then that energy of all right was coming from Ait, so the IGHT, which literally means possession. All right. I'm trying, there's something coming up, a song or something that's all right with you. Everything's all right. Because you have to understand that unity is taking back possession of your own soul. It's literally God taking back possession of all of its parts, all of its unity consciousness, coming back to unity consciousness from separation, taking possession of your parts of your soul, right? To make all of the parts of you congruent once again. that everything's all right. It's all right now. Well, what song am I thinking of? So anyway, we start with the Knight of Swords reversed, and beneath it, all right, so here's the Knight of Swords, that top card, and then the mini cards on top, and then the few cards that I go down. We have the Nine of Wands reversed, the King of Cups reversed, Transition, which is the Death card, or the Portal, upright, the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands both reversed here, and then going into the Knight of Swords reversed. It's a lot of negative people here. The only card that was upright was the Death card. We had the Wounded Warrior in Surrender, the King of Cups reversed, the Queen of Swords reversed, and the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Swords reversed. Now, some of them don't have to be characters. They can be actions. The Wounded Warrior can be the King of Cups. King of Cups reversed Transition can be a Scorpio King of Cups. But then we have two queens and a knight, and unhappy energy. So there can be a couple different references here. They could be all people in mourning or grieving something. They can also be people who are pissed off or nasty people, a bad group. The surrender of the King of Cups reversed, or surrender to the King of Cups reversed in Transition, or that he's a Scorpio, but transition of or to the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Swords all reversed. The King of Cups reversed holding their tongue, while the Knight of Wands upright rushes in for the rescue post-war, where apologies are needed here. The King of Cups reversed may be sad, grieving a loss, regret, guilt, or shame, healing and forgiving in a heated exchange, arguments, or holding back their true desires, delays in communication and or travel. And this can also be failed expectations. Looking over the balcony or out the window, as the Queen of Swords reversed, defending her territory, letting go of their Scroogey ways to make repairs and walk away from the Page of Swords reversed, mouthy child, or walking away from spying and lying and rumors or bad news and negative self-talk, or the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords who are fighting all the time. And that definitely could be two siblings. Unstable foundation with patchwork instead of a strong foundation. There's a know-it-all energy coming up here, right? So the building of the foundation, but with patchwork, just patching things up instead of rebuilding. A know-it-all, always naysaying, or immature words, or always texting. Like that can be a child who's getting on your nerves too, or a partner who's always on their phone and never paying attention to you, or lying about the mountains perhaps, or spent their last dime to go take a hike, or left without a word, not telling anyone that they were leaving or where they were going at 3:01, which is the Empress and the Magician. Perhaps the King of Cups reversed, the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands reversed, and the Knight of Swords reversed, were looking all over or thought somebody was dead. And this can be a pet who ran away as well. Or the King of Cups reversed was the one in need of rescue, or help to find the Page of Swords reversed. Dumping multiple loads and or emotional attachments, no longer confused, looking back. I was just getting the leader of the pack again. No longer confused about looking back or about the past, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, without guidance or supervision. You know, a child who needed help but didn't have it. Or the Page of Pentacles reversed has Taurus in their chart, or has a learning disability, or just never learned their lesson, or missed an opportunity in a divorce, a break from religion, establishment, the man, or a Taurus, or a marriage, or to think outside the box, a chance to be alternative to societal norms, perhaps to be more like themselves. You deserve love, and beneath that was worth waiting for at 3:08, the Empress and the Strength card, the Dance card. Is your Dance card full? Or the Knight of Swords reversed and the Page of Swords reversed are breaking away from the Queen of Swords reversed, perhaps an abusive mother. That can also be an older sibling, 3 swords, children who can all be verbally abusive, who have all been silenced. But also, that can just be passed down from generation to generation. So no romantic tie in the past here with the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or looking back at stubbornness and obstinance and refusal to move, to help, or to work, or just disabled, or playing the part of the victim. broken, chaos, car issues, breakdown, breakup, break in, broken in, or break through the state of emergency, and fending off unwanted advances, with the Queen of Swords reversed, using the children perhaps, who are with them watching, in order to get her own way. So using the fact that the children are watching to do things that the other person isn't comfortable with for the sake of the children, knowing full well the Divine Feminine was present on the glass ceiling, and perhaps this feminine energy getting revenge on her. And then I was getting the Alanis Morissette song, Can You Feel It? And I'm here to remind you. Okay, so the bulls seeing red on the warpath. The Queen of Swords reversed, using the children to get back in his good graces. Or 1 to 2 girls hearing everything they say and do. And this can be children hearing their parents arguing in their bedrooms. Perhaps a whip has been used, candle burns, and pincushion and or voodoo dolls here. When people are watching, being all lovey-dovey, but lots of abuse behind the curtain when no one is looking. Or told by mother to shh and keep up appearances, which came up in the movie the other night about someone who was abused by the uncle and told by their mother to keep it quiet, right? We don't need that kind of, gossip in our family. At 317, the abundance and the star, when the uncle came to visit. So there may be a theme regarding the uncle today. Not telling about sexual abuse or negative exchanges, abusive exchanges. That can be just verbal abuse. Delays, needing strength. Verbal abuse can be so much worse than physical abuse even. So it's not for nothing right there. So delays, needing strength, courage, and health, good health, to keep up your strength. The High Priestess, the secret, and a bold move to ascend. Not sleeping and rising above, or awakening to home, union, stability, or celebration, and finding a way out of the chains that bind, or a 4-post bed. Or worried someone may hurt, someone might be afraid to go to sleep because they're worried someone may hurt them while sleeping, or it's just they're afraid of ghosts and things like that. And they're afraid. Boy, when I was little, I was so afraid that the mice in the attic were going to come through the air conditioning vent in the ceiling. When I was young, I used to seal the covers around me because I don't think I'd seen Willard or something that freaked me out. But also preparing, here's that mouse energy as well, coming up again. When I was in college, I was home visiting, and I just had come in my bedroom and plopped down on my bed. And then in under my door walks this little mouse to say hello to me. And I just started laughing because it's like all those years I spent as a little girl being afraid of this little mouse who just walked under my door to say hello. And my mother was always open to animals. She loves animals. So if we found a mouse, she would just catch them with a container and take them outside. So someone's afraid about something at night, that someone might hurt them or try to kill them when they're sleeping. Preparing an escape route or making plans to get out of the grid, the greasy wheel, or healing heart and home and then leaving. Leo reversed and Pisces upright, Cancer upright and Capricorn reversed, or Leo and Capricorn refusing to walk the dog. And I was just getting a yo-yo too. 325. And that can be like being on the hamster wheel, the yo-yo. 325 is abundance and the Knight of Wands. Walking away in surrender here in the underlying energies, and then going forward after this read is the energy of divorce, break from religion, establishment, traditional norms, society, a marriage or Taurus, outside the box. Or there could be a tainted religious leader here, an abusive religious leader, or just a leader, a scam. That can be cult energies too. The scam of imbalance, inequity, debt, not sharing with the Queen of Pentacles, released a secret passion here, holding back an announcement or chickening out, satisfied or arrogant, the King of Swords, Star, Aquarius, or having their dreams come true. In the recent past is the Luna, upright, the moon, the past full moon, perhaps in Libra, and the split with the Queen of Pentacles for soulmate, while the Knight of Pentacles reversed, the Nine of Pentacles reversed, and the Knight of Swords reversed, which can be siblings or just young people, people at work, anyone really. But they're coming up with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, and the world at large, upside down, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D world, and the Queen of Cups reversed in pain, or ending pain, or pain treatments, or the Queen of Pentacles, kids withholding information from the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or legacy, about the Divine Feminine or Pisces or Queen of Cups reversed, or because of her state of mind or her state of being. The Hermit with the light on dumping a load, dumping burdens, responsibilities in a twist of fate, with issues at work or being third party through work, with Cancer upright, Pisces reversed, and Virgo upright and Libra reversed here. And the number 28 coming up, which is the Two of Wands, the twin flames. The foundation here being the Eight of Cups, walking away and within, perhaps without telling, or Aquarius reversed, surrendering at night, with the full moon, or surrendering to Cancer, whether that's a person or the actual disease. The central energy is the Seven of Pentacles, the Divine Feminine's heart in the E-Tower. And dealing with kids who are close but having issues with others or immature people at 338, which is the Empress, the mother, and the 38 of the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles probably here is a Virgo energy. I don't see any other Earth cards there. And then the Queen of Cups reversed may be a Pisces or a Cancer, or have those energies in their chart. Perhaps mother and daughter sorting out life stuff and the obstacles to finding their best life. The Divine Feminine's heart receiving big love, but without a physical love relationship, or receiving a lot of love from work, but frustrated with financial endings, or lack of inspiration, or just financial issues here, or lack of projects, creativity, and the Page of Cups, loving message of the King of Swords, release. And then I just got a text from another twin at that point. And again, the twins learning how to stay calm in every situation. 403 comes up there, which is the Emperor and the Empress. The challenge being guidance reversed and the lack of guidance. Divorce, a break in religion, establishment, or Taurus reversed, or marriage. Divided or in need of clarity at night, or with Cancer, detoxing, performance. Juggling act, moving to peace and reaping rewards of daydreaming, assessing finances perhaps. 2 out in the cold, injured, dumping burdens, loads, and responsibilities, perhaps with or on the Queen of Wands reversed and the King of Pentacles reversed. And that's not a nice pair, unless, of course, they're just having a hard time or grieving something here. With 2 walking out on them, or they're the 2 walking out, it could be employees, clients, or kids walking out on them, or they're the ones walking out. Or the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles reversed are walking out on their commitments, together but distant, or apart and close, right? So together but not seeing eye to eye, or apart but very close, wanting to see each other face to face. Impatient fallen angel, or Sagittarius reversed and Queen of Wands reversed, or she is Sagittarius, with Libra reversed and King of Pentacles reversed, dumping the fantasy or emotional attachments, with the King of Swords losing patience, with the 10 of Cups reversed, unhappy family, or ending an emotional cycle of unhappiness or lack of fulfillment of themselves, no longer confused about grieving, loss, guilt, and shame, which is a very interesting. Shame's coming up because I was listening to Jen McCarty earlier, and she, in the British pronunciation of shaman, she says shaman, and I was getting shame all over that. Shaman. So there's that energy coming up. The King of Wands reversed, detoxing boredom, grounding, integrating, feeling sorry for themselves, and inspired or uninspired. Or with the Page of Wands upright, who is inspired. In the now moment here is the wheel upside down. Big wheels keep on turning, rolling, rolling down the river. The downturn of the wheel upside down. The retrograde, right, flowing down the river, allowing the river, the flows to take you, the current, flowing with the current, the retrogrades, the bad timing, or it's just not the right timing. Satisfied or inspired, offering love to others who are struggling, right? So as you're floating down the river, someone's struggling by holding onto a rock, and then grabbing them, say, come on, come with me, and go with the flow. At night when all the world's asleep, at night, the full moon at the workplace with loving message of the Page of Cups child finding a way out. In a breakup, a lack of affection without options. Libra and Gemini reversed here, and Cancer upright. The wounded warrior in surrender. Libra reversed, moving or visiting, with Cancer reversed. or sharing injustice with brokenness, car accident, or chaos, some kind of wrongdoing or surrendering to it, ending the pain cycle and negative self-talk of no reunion, of social distancing, bad influences or third parties, of no social life, and just ultimately no joy. The Hermit shedding light on the Queen of Cups reversed, losing patience, or Sagittarius reversed, and the Hermit with Libra in their chart, or in downturn offering time, help, or money to others, new information coming in and talking it out, but without strong-arming tactics involved, while feeling weak, and the Hermit missing their flame, letting go to fix secret passion, or that a secret is out, or realizing others may need help in using their intuition or knowing how. Soon here for the twins is the Five of Wands reversed, ending conflict, rising. I'm seeing sleeping light, but I don't think that's what I wrote here. So ending the conflict and rising above that conflict, not being able to sleep, or somebody's been sleeping very light, healing with dreams coming true, or having beautiful dreams perhaps, or Star or Aquarius not sharing, dealing with scam energies, debt energies, inequity under the radar, or feeling a failure trying to end the nightmare with the Queen of Swords reversed, which can be silent treatment or verbal abuse, or just someone who's so wounded. At 429, which is the Emperor and the Three of Wands, being very present to the gift of the moment. In disconnect or at a distance, the Knight of Wands rushing in to help, the Page of Cups, that innocent love, right? The mouse and the ant, those that are vulnerable, or children or pets. The Knight of Wands rushing in to help those who can't help themselves, the vulnerable, the young and the old, the pets and the animals. The Page of Cups, which can also be the sending of a very loving message. So at 430, which is the Emperor and the Union, the Four of Wands, or two who've been distant come together with love and passion, a friendly reunion. The twin flames in the Three of Pentacles reversed, overworking, or issues at work with what's not working and getting clarity, but regaining balance by taking the high ground, ending an emotional cycle of unhappy family or just unhappiness in general, and the Fool free to leap away from the King of Wands reversed, connected to the Empress upright, avoiding sudden changes, but losing their patience, or cleaning up in the aftermath of the fallen angel, who perhaps made a mess, or Sagittarius, King of Wands reversed, defending their turf. Past life relationship comes up here, and keep an open mind, and stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And that came up yesterday. I made a comment about control. There was just a random, thought process going on, but that the ultimate control is no control, because that's what faith is, right? Not knowing and trusting anyway. So around the, which is being in your knowing. So around the twins, or how they're seeing, is the King of Swords upright, in his truth, needing courage and sunshine and vacation, perhaps dealing with crazy pets or kids, or Leo reversed, or ego reversed, death of the ego, or of the Emperor reversed, perhaps out of control, abusing their power, or losing their power because they're retiring or getting old, or Dark Night and ego death, transition with someone with double Leo, or two Leos, or perhaps two pets reversed, with Scorpio upright and Aries reversed. The block for the twins being the Three of Cups reversed, no joy, no social life, overindulgences, gossip, third parties, and the Queen of Swords reversed, awake to the Magician embodiment, or turning her back, or not talking if his ego is out of control, or if finds out he practices magic or is awakened. So again, not being open to certain things. Very much so comes up here at the end, individuality, healing, and communication, very important. An all business relationship that's not working out, with the Emperor reversed, disconnected, and not sharing from that all business partnership. The inequity, debt, or scam. The Knight of Cups reversed, jealousy, moodiness, insincerity, or rejected in partnership. And the Two of Cups reversed. The Hermit missing their flame and grieving the King of Wands reversed, detoxing or chaos. And detoxing the chaos or boredom of the Page of Wands upright, the inspiration or the inspired to disconnect or break up. The Two of Swords is reversed here, receiving new information, then throws you off balance, letting go to fix or make repairs or reparations with secret passion or Pisces or Virgo reversed, under the radar feeling of failure or attention-seeking behavior. We have Leo reversed, Virgo upright, and Cancer reversed, or in need of sun and fun, with Hermit shedding light on a breakup, a breakdown, a break-in or breakthrough, or car issues, or an emergency situation. Feeling very stuck, but being okay with it, allowing it all. The Knight of Swords reversed and or the Page of Swords reversed, walking away from issues at work, or the Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong line. That's why it wasn't making sense to me. Walking away from issues at work or near the workplace, the King of Swords full moon at nighttime, or Cancer, or with Cancer Divine Feminine's heart in the E Tower, challenged by needing guidance or commitment, or challenged by divorce or a break in a contract, religion, or establishment, and bad influences, in a downturn or twist of fate, and imbalance that's not fair, debt, scam, inequity of new information throwing you off balance, under the radar with negative attention or attention seeking, or without success with the Hermit shedding light on brokenness or car issues and stuckness overall. Leo and Cancer reversed and Virgo upright, and Capricorn and Aries reversed as well. And the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands, the Knight of Swords, all reversed at the beginning. At the full moon, found a way out or escaped, walking away to or from reaping rewards, or the Divine Feminine's heart at the E Tower, challenged by no guidance, in downturn, with issues at work and a losing battle, with the King of Swords, with a negative group, or no joy and not sharing at 454, which is the Emperor, and the Page of Swords, or that message getting out. With new information at 55, which is the whole truth, new information under the radar, in need of sunshine, with the Hermit stuck or with car issues, surrendering the wounded warrior to or of the King of Cups reverse, who could be a Scorpio, or the King of Cups reverse has passed away, with the Queen of Swords and Queen of Wands and the Knight of Swords all reversed, present, sending the bad news. Maybe someone suddenly surrendered to death, maybe they were in hospice. And then the Knight of Swords reversed, present, sending the bad news to the Page of Pentacles reversed, who may be Taurus or have Taurus in their chart, and then Queen of Swords reversed, who's grounding and integrating a green environment. Or death of the Empress upright and the Emperor's reverse, so the end of that relationship, and the King of Wands reversed, who could be the Emperor, freeing themselves from the Empress upright, or that could be another person, right? So if a mother and father split, then the son freeing themselves as well from the Empress upright, or Taurus upright, Scorpio reversed, and Sagittarius reversed all come up here at the end. So now I'm going to pull some oracle cards. All right, what is the takeaway from all of this today from the energy deck? For everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know and learn? For the twin flames from these two reads, what is our takeaway? Take another deep breath. There we go. Walking away. I'm definitely getting that energy. 27 is the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands was reversed in this read. So someone might be trying to walk away, but there may be things that keep pulling them back in, or that's the energy of someone walking away without telling anyone, right? That kind of ghosting energy. And then here's the letting go of attachments, right? The frustrations of trying to let go of the mask, the 5 of the Hierophant, the commitments, the change, the expansion, the freedom. It's like someone may be stalled or delayed from walking away until they remove their mask fully, right? Because there may be fears that are pulling them back in. So until they completely let go of those fears of being truly themselves, that's when they can then walk away. And there's very feminine energy coming up there. And then there's a caring connection here. But the Temperance card, I believe, was also reversed in this read. Because I believe impatience was coming up. Yeah. So this may be a disconnect with self, actually, and dealing with a contract. And again, there's that justice of truth and balance and needing to settle out, right, to finish off the end of the contract, which I'm getting has been almost done for a long time. So again, someone getting pulled back in because the contract's not quite done, all right? But it's like at the end, you know? And this person needing to, hasn't quite learned their lesson yet of fully taking off their mask and being truly authentic to themselves. So then they get pulled back for one more little jaunt to learn their lesson before the contract is over, okay? Of the lovers or the commitment, whatever it was in your situation. And then the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Cups, the fourth chakra of Archangel Raphael, which is physical healing. Okay, so maybe there's some more physical healing that needs to be done before someone leaves. And then here's the 24 of the Queen of Wands, who is reversed in this read as well. So maybe they're not feeling like they have any adjacent possibilities and needing to fall into their heart. Let's see here. The Queen of Cups too. Whenever I'm looking, I have to really just come back in to allow the universe to show me where the card is. Whenever I look for it, I can't find it. Which in cards, this is an amazing lesson on letting go. Because when you're looking for a card and you can't find it, you won't find it. But if you totally let go and just look in the middle, you literally get guided right to the card, which I just did now. And the Queen of Cups is right there. So yeah, she's reversed too. So this is someone struggling with coming back into their heart, falling into their heart space, right? Feeling like they don't have options. And so this is maybe the work that still needs to be done before they can leave. And then here's the Journey of Love. So it's hard, sometimes it's hard for me to do something like that for you guys while I'm online, because I'm very conscious of the fact that you're waiting for me. So when things might take me a minute to focus in so I can find the Queen of Cups, sometimes it's hard for me to focus because I'm too aware of you guys waiting. So from the Journey of Love, the Journey of Love. Again, take another deep breath. That came right up. Okay, here's the breaking of the King of Pentacles. There's the chaos that comes into the center, right? It's like when the tidal wave hits. Nothing you can do then, right? If there's a hole in the wall and something breaks through, so there's breakthrough energy. But you also notice these are two bodies coming together, right? This is the feminine energy arched back, like bending over backwards to fit. And then here's the energy laying themselves upon them. And I'm not really getting the masculine energy that I'm getting pets, you know? The vulnerable. There's very much energy about the pets here today. Pets and animals, the vulnerable, the children, and the old people who can't take care of themselves. Obviously, those are the people who do need our help. And if they can be rehabilitated to do things themselves, of course you do that. But of course, children always need our guidance initially because they don't know how to do things. And then old people might get to a point where they just can't, they can't come back from what they're in, so they need help as well. So the breaking in of the 65, the King of Pentacles, right? The breakthrough, the breaking in, the chaos, allowing the chaos to clear away the negative energies, to find peace after the storm. And there's the Shakti energy, which is a very aggressive feminine energy. And you see the breast over here. And it's very lower chakra here with the red and orange and yellow. The 19 of the sun, which is the ego. And the King of Pentacles, which is the, he's the final power structure before you get to the Emperor and the Empress in the Tarot. And here's all about the feminine becoming in the lower energies to prove her worth, right? To be the man, live in a man's world. Shakti is very much that man's world energy of the feminine living as the masculine. And then the guardian of the soul family coming up here, which is the 26 of the Page of Wands, that inspired energy to come into peace of the man, the woman, and the child, the Trinity energy, the guardian of the soul family. The third energy, the child, the inspired. And you see how green it is here coming into the heart. So the chaos. And you see how much blues and reds there are, because the chaos comes from the root chakra and the mouth, right? Because when we're silent, there's no chaos. There's nothing to fight about, right? And the root chakra has to do with our fears. So this card is mostly blues and reds. And what do we talk about? Red pill, blue pill. Right? Because this is all the parts of the two factions, right? The lower chakra faction and the upper chakra faction, which then become divided, right? The mouth being the issue of the upper chakra, right? Saying things that trigger the safety and security of the lower chakra system. The breaking in to come together, to meet in the middle. And what's in the middle of the root chakra and the throat chakra is the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. Or it's actually the solar plexus chakra is the yellow, because there's two chakra systems away from each. It's the finding of the confidence, not the ego, but the confidence of shining your light. And it's really like a combined energy of the solar plexus and the heart together as the energy center, the epicenter of the guardian of the soul family, the child within, right? When you look into your heart to see your child, you're gonna get that feeling between the solar plexus and the heart energy. That's the energy I'm getting right now. The third is the child. It's the vulnerable. It's the pet. It's the ant. It's the mouse. The vulnerable, the feminine energy. But again, this is the energy of the feminine lowering their vibration. It's kind of like lowering their vibration on purpose to allow the masculine to have a breakthrough and become inspired again. And you look at the colors here, it's very blues and then very reds and then very greens. The mouth, right? Opening the mouth. There was a lot of the throat chakra cracking open. And it's like once the throat chakra cracks open, the masculine finding his voice again. The need for the feminine to face her lower chakra system energies, right? Her more survival system, human, right? That victim mentality of safety and security, and finding her confidence, keeping it up in the gold and the green, right? There's some brown of the groundedness, but staying mostly in the greens and the whites, because the white is all the colors, and then you have some blues and greens and purples back here as well. But there's always going to require groundedness to feel stable in 3D environment, on this earth, on this world, or in the fourth density, whichever energy you're in. So there's one more card that wanted to come out from this deck, and that's the Rings of Time with the 44, which is the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love, right? Also the 44 in the numerology deck is the weight of the world upon your shoulders, the Atlas energy. It's considered the master's number, the 11, 22, 33, and 44. 33 being the Christ vibration, 44 being the mastery, because it's the 4 and the 4 of the 8, right? Going from the 3D to the 5D is the mastery. But you also notice that they're showing me now because Thoth came up recently. There was a video, I think it was Sam the Illusionist, in one of his channelings talked about, and it might have been someone else, I can't remember. There's Metatron energy and Thoth energy used to be as one, and then this message was coming up as the separation this past year of Metatron away from Thoth. Thoth being the more dark, logical, scientific mind, right, the controllers, but very intelligent, and there's a lot of doctor energy in that, as well as, you know, the wacky scientist. And then Metatron, more of that spiritual energy, separating off from Thoth, which used to be one. And this is coming up as that Thoth energy in the wheelchair, being the victim here. The rings of time, which has to do with the aging of the tree. But I always said that this always reminded me of my dad, but there's feminine energy here too, with like a boob energy. The masculine and the feminine in the intellectual energy, the Thoth energy, which is not using the heart, only the mind. And it's not to judge that energy, it just is what it is. When it was always very interesting to me, because although my father wasn't religious or spiritual, he believed the same thing that I believed. He believed as a scientist that all the pieces of the body, that the world is like the body, that it's all the cells of the body acting as one in unity consciousness. That's what he believed, but he wasn't spiritual or religious. So it just depends on the person, you know. He may not have seen himself as spiritual, and yet I believe he really was. He was very good at what he did because he channeled. He channeled his ability to create. So I feel like the splitting of Metatron and Thoth really has to do with the taking the darkness, you know, more of the darkness away from the light, you know, coming more, it's creating that feminine balance that was out of balance for so long, more masculine than feminine, and now the feminine rising and pulling that dark intellectual energy out of the collective. So that need to come up around the separation between Thoth and Metatron. So, yeah, and these are all very different energies here. But it's like the energies circling, like the chaos of the blues and the reds, you know, in conflict with each other, breaking through to go through the lower chakra systems, and perhaps, you know, when we always go through energy loops, we loop back again. So it's going back into the lower energies to go forward again, propelling us back up into the heart and the confidence of the solar plexus. And then understanding the rings of time, the aging of our population, and the knowledge and wisdom that's held there. So you notice all the colors in this, it's very blues and purples. There's very little red here, right? There's wisdom to be found in our aged population, right? They have so much knowledge and wisdom to give us just by them having lived their life, whether they're spiritual or not. There's so much they can still teach us. And instead of tossing them aside because they're in wheelchairs, to find a place for them to teach. Maybe they should be sitting at daycares with children, you know, just getting love and kisses, or perhaps teaching the children something they never would have learned otherwise. There's a need to pull our communities together in a different way. The bottom of this deck is the ethereal touch, the 27 of the Ace of Wands, that lightness, right? As we pull more light into our bodies, we become less dense, and that's this very feathery energy coming up, the ethereal touch of that Ace of Wands. Until we're very light, we can't fully go into that passion, because then passion is the dark, right? Inspiration plus ego is passion. So we want to really lighten that up to become more inspiration than actual passion. And beneath that is the swan, the beauty of the loyal, humble servant, the Knight of Pentacles of the 67. Keeping it very simple and keeping it light. All right, so let's go ahead and read 65 of the breaking. That's come up quite often the past couple of months, past year actually. The breaking. You are breaking apart. You might not understand it at all. There's not much to be understood, but the simplicity doesn't mean it's easy to endure. You may worry that you're going too far, that you may not recover or ever come back together again. But what can you do? Can you hold back from the divine love that calls you, that lures you to becoming all that you are, to remembering your divine nature? Well, you could try, but for what purpose? Temporary rest before the storm is best, so take the rest if you need it, and then dive into the storm. Let yourself be brokenhearted by the divine so that you can become your truth, become all that you're meant to be. It is better to have the heart broken so that it grows than to be brokenhearted by thinking that you must protect yourself from love. This oracle brings compassionate guidance that no matter what sadness or anger, despair, which came up in the read, despair or frustration that you may feel, you're being pulled apart not by dark forces, but by the loving embrace of the divine as it strips you of that which would keep you from your divine realization. Let go and break, it's going to be the making of you. So again, it's talking about the pulling apart of the Metatron and Thoth energies. And not saying it's not, but it's not the dark forces doing this, but by the loving embrace of the divine as it strips you of that which would keep you from your divine realization. Let go and break, it's going to be the making of you. And the poem is love. Love is a special closeness that sings from the heart, that warms my days and nights, that feels good, that makes me smile, that makes me glad to be alive. Okay, I'm going to leave. Actually, I want to read Shakti also, because that was significant here before I go. 19 is the sun. Again, sun is ego, the ego of the feminine. Shakti. Shakti is divine feminine fire. She is the body awakened with light. She is the divine feminine, and she is the kundalini, the energetic force that moves through us, triggered by love that leads to enlightenment of our body. With our kundalini coming alive within us, we cannot remain as we once were. It is impossible. We may try to lead the same lives, be the same in our relationship patterns, and perhaps even behave properly, but it simply cannot be done. Soon our disguise slips and people wonder, what happened to her? What's gotten into him? We are on fire with the divine, and we cannot help but misbehave. We are no longer satisfied with trying to be the good child or fearing that we are the bad child. We know ourselves instead to be the divine child. That child divine lives fully and with passionate fire, not doing things the way they're supposed to be done, perhaps. And again, this is all about becoming more authentic to yourself, not in passion, perhaps, but more inspired, but living instead from the heart, our true inspiration. Our body may ache as we burn through the old pain, and sometimes the light within may seem so bright it blinds us for the moment. But that will pass, and the misbehaving will suddenly be seen for what it is. The old rules just don't fit anymore. You don't plug a globe capable of illuminating the whole world into the bedside reading lamp without burning down the house. It's best to let the light shine as it was meant to in the big arena. Shakti is making your light grow, beloved. Be prepared to shine brighter. This oracle brings you a message. You are going through energetic shifts in your subtle anatomy. Because your energy body and physical body have already begun to merge with each other, the energetic shifts will affect your physical body too. It is always wise to consult a healthcare practitioner, but at least some of your physical challenges at the moment, from aches and pains to tiredness, are due to this energetic awakening. And before I forget this, someone had commented, and I couldn't find a way to reply to that comment because it wasn't coming up in the comments. Someone had asked about, what to do when there's so much heart stress, how to relieve the heart stress. And I obviously can't give medical advice because I'm not a doctor. So once you've found out, if you've gone to see your primary, make sure you don't have any actual heart issues that need to be addressed. If it is ascension symptoms, the best thing you can do for your heart and the stress, whether it's self-induced or because the energy is coming into the earth, is any way to get to relaxation or self-love. So one of the things that you can do is just focusing on your heart space and literally sending it love. And you can even just picture your inner child in your heart space and giving your inner child love, or trying to see what your inner child is trying to show you. So imagine yourself as a very young child sitting in your heart or your solar plexus area, and what is the message they want to give you. And just by redirecting your focus, that alone can release the stress of your heart. Meditation, of course, can do this. Going out for a walk, exercising is great for relieving stress. but you know, it doesn't have to be hard exercise. It can just be a walk. Any kind of deep breathing. There are those who do the, you know, the cold water diving that preach hyperventilating 10 to 20 breaths every morning, which will cause you never to be sick. So again, that's the answer to your question. I can't give you something specific, but again, salt baths as well. Salt clears your aura. I always put salt in my apricot scrub or whatever scrub you might use in the shower, so that the salt clears your aura every day. I actually have a glass of salt water. You can't see it on the table either, but it's behind here. There's a glass of salt water there. So yeah, anything that would normally help you to relax. Taking deep breaths, meditating, offering love to wherever in your body is uncomfortable. Literally putting your attention on that spot, whether it's your heart feeling stressed or an injured knee. It's asking for you to place your attention on it. And sometimes that's all it wants, is you to give it attention, and then it goes away. Sometimes it might need more time of your attention, and other times it may be your inner child showing you something, what it needs. So I hope that's helpful. So the rest of this page was, you know, it's this energy due to this energetic awakening. Take responsible action as you feel is necessary, such as tending to your physical well-being with health care that feels supportive, but also remember to rest and get some time in nature and nurture your body as it is spiritually awakened into greater light. So that too, remember, are you getting enough sleep? Are you spending enough time grounding yourself in nature? So sometimes going outside to jog or take a walk, you know, make sure you not only go outside and breathe the air, but touch nature, touch the flowers and the trees, the grass with your bare skin. I have watched you hurting and felt helpless to make life better for you. Loving you is having to make choices to let you be who you are, who you become, and all the who's yet to come. To love you is to ride the waves of your passionate embrace of life, ever mindful of the change in the wind and the occasional tempest brewing. Loving you is having to make choices, knowing it isn't my fault. I can still choose to take it personally or just be, whilst I listen and watch you unfold. Your heart is a beauty I will always love. It's the part of you that hasn't changed much over time. When I lie beside you and hear you breathe, when I touch your skin or caress your hair, you are timeless, and I choose loving you. Okay, guys. Don't forget to drink your water. That's like an ultrasound gel connection to the higher realms. So make sure you're well hydrated. Make sure you get enough sleep, because obviously people are really grouchy when they don't get enough sleep. And also to help you, they need certain periods of time to heal you in your sleep. So, you know, the more you can rest, the more they can help you heal and connect and bring your upgrades and downloads. Make sure you get your joy, you know, make sure you have a laugh in your day, and get your nature outside again to ground you, as well as salt, things like that in meditation. And as always, rise and be loved. It just turned 118. Have an amazing day, you guys. I will see you soon. Rise and be loved, guys. Bye.